Morning, folks. My name is Kurt Hitzemann, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance. The purpose of the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. I'll determine if probable cause exists for those charges. Probable cause simply means that it's more likely than not that a crime has been committed, and more likely than not that you're the person who's committed the crime. Of course, as you stand before me today, I presume that you're innocent of these charges. That presumption of innocence will stay with you through every stage of the proceedings unless and until the State Attorney's Office is able to prove the allegations against you beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. We'll set your conditions of pretrial release this morning, that is your bail or bond. In most cases, you've had a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit of the warrant which led to your arrest. I'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know when your next court date will be. If you'd like to have the services of the public defender, I will gladly appoint the PD to represent you this morning. You have a right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you have not had a chance to make that call, please let me know. We'll make sure that that happens. Finally, and most importantly, you're advised that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are recorded. In addition, there is an assistant state attorney in the courtroom with me. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. And I need each and every one of you there at the jail to please raise your right hands and be sworn. You all solemnly swear affirm, tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth. Outstanding. When you hear your name called, please step forward to the podium. Sarah Cotter. Morning, Sarah. What's your date of birth?
10/15/1986.
Sarah, the charge is battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, if you wish to represent yourself, you're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Appoint public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State, what can you tell me?
2003 is a juvenile DV. 2006 is an adult. Petty theft. 2007 petty theft. 2007 DSP. Burglary, convictions, violator probation, 2008, habitual Willis, 2008, violator probation, petty theft, burglary, another HTO, 2008, 2014, DSP and felony theft. Looks like she was convicted, those are drops. Looks like she was convicted of trespass and occupied. 2014, bunch of fraud charges and theft charges that were all dropped. 2015, grand theft, which is a conviction. And that's all I can confirm this morning, Your Honor.
Sarah, I have an address for you on Broad Street here in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yes.
How long have you lived there?
We just recently moved there, but I have an uncle that lives out on Sunshine Grove that if I'm released and no contact, I can stay there.
Okay. You've been living with Bobby?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
I help take care of my grandma.
Okay. Well, Sarah, what I'm inclined to do today, I'm going to take care of Bobby here next, is that my position, having read these affidavits, would be to order him to not have contact with you. If you tell me that you'd like to have contact with Bobby, then I can order you both to have peaceful contact. But that kind of is, in my mind, it's up to you, so that means it's up to you. If you want contact with him, I'll give you peaceful contact and explain that to both of you. You would like to have contact with him again?
Yes, please.
All right. You're not concerned that he's going to hurt you or harm you in any way?
No.
Okay. In that case, Sarah, I'm going to set your bond at $100. Condition of the bond is that you can have peaceful contact with Bobby. It's always a crime to touch him anyway. He does not want to be touched. It could be a violation of your conditions of pretrial release if you so much as raise your voice. Now, this is, like I said, I'm going to explain this to him in a moment, too. You guys could both wind up back in jail without bond if the cops wind up coming back to Broad Street because you're out in the yard fighting, okay? Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, have you back in court on the 31st of August. Very important that you contact the Public Defender's Office when you get out, okay?
Okay.
Very good. Bobby Sneed. Now, Bobby, what's your date of birth?
4/10/83.
You also have a charge of battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State.
Criminal mischief out of Tennessee, which was dropped in 2013. That's all I'm showing, Judge.
Bobby, I've got that same address on Broad Street. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
You have a job these days?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
I work for Eagle Roofing in Florida.
Okay. All right. Same thing, Bobby. I'm going to set your bond at $100. You can have peaceful contact with Sarah. You were paying attention when I had my conversation with her, I assume?
Yes, sir.
And you understand that if the law enforcement winds up at your house because you guys are in the front yard screaming at each other, you're both going to wind up in jail without bond. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Have you back in court on the 31st of August. Make sure you contact the public defender when you get out, all right?
All right.
Thank you. Patrick Capps. Well, Patrick, what's your date of birth?
January 14th, 1986.
Patrick, I have a warrant for you out of Hillsborough County. Looks like it failed to appear on a driving on a suspended license. The judge that issued that warrant set your bond at $1,000. I can't change that. If you can bond out, you can get out of jail here, go down to Tampa, find out when they want you in court. If you do not have the ability to post that bond, we will notify Hillsborough County right away. I'll give them 5 days to come get you. If for some strange reason you're still here in 5 days, they'd bring you back to see me, and I'd find out what the problem is, all right?
All right.
Thank you.
So all I got to do is pay their bail?
Well, then you got to go down there. They want you back in court. So you're gonna post the bond and then find out when they need you back in court, okay?
All right, so I post the bond, I'm out of here.
Yes. And then you're going to go to Tampa and find out when they want you back in court. That doesn't fix anything. And then if you don't show up in court again, you're going to get arrested again. All right? Just so we're clear.
I'm sorry, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Garrett Chitka.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Garrett. Date of birth?
1/12/79.
All right, Garrett, you're here on a writ of bodily attachment. That means a child support hearing officer and a circuit judge determined you owe some child support. They set a cash purge of $669. Is that amount of money you can pay today, Garrett?
No, sir. I'm
Okay.
in a treatment center right now
Okay.
down in St. Pete, Salvation
Okay.
Army.
How long you been there?
For going on 3 months. I graduate in about 4.
Okay. Hang on 1 second, Garrett. That's probably a very good thing that you're doing that.
Yeah, need it.
All right, Garrett, I'll find that you're not in willful contempt for your failure to pay child support. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance this morning so that you can get back to your treatment. However, when you get done, this issue will still be out there, all right? So as soon as you are done and back on your feet a little bit, you need to get a hold of the folks at Child Support Enforcement, because if you don't contact them and do something about this, the process will start over again. You get arrested again, all right?
Who do I have to petition to let them know so it can occur, but I'm not held responsible? Because I did write a letter to Hernando County to let them know that I was in a treatment center.
Yeah, well, people write letters and say all sorts of things, Garrett. We're a cynical lot. There's no doubt about that. And until you present yourself, these sort of things will happen. You'll be good for a while now because I found you're not in contempt. Just make it priority 1 when you get out, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Very good. James Dingman. Run, James, what's your date of birth?
April 1st, 1981.
All right, James, first thing I have is a warrant signed by Judge Toner. Apparently he failed to appear in his court on a charge of possession of controlled substance, and I have a new arrest for a driving on a suspended license. There's probable cause for that. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel.
No, sir. I want a public defender.
All right, I'll appoint the public defender. State.
starting in 1999, unlawful tag, 1999, shoplifting. To withhold 2000, violates probation by picking up cannabis charge. Also withhold 2003, paraphernalia and cannabis. More withholds. 2004, violated his probation. 2004, failure to appear. 2013, no permit for a motorcycle. 2013, controlled substance and paraphernalia. Those were dropped. 2014, another FTA times 2. 2016, Willis, false name to Leo. Both withholds. 2017, another FTA. 2017, controlled substance without prescription. That's all I can confirm this morning.
All right, Mr. Dingman, I have an address for you on Star Road. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
Forever.
Okay. You have a job these days?
I started working with my brother a couple weeks ago, but ain't really permanent.
What are you doing for him?
Roofing.
Okay. I'm not going to change the bond on Judge Toner's warrant. That's $2,000. I'll send you back to see him on the 31st of August. They told you September 4th. It'll be August 31st. The driving on it suspended, I'm not going to change that either. I'm going to leave that at $2,000, so your total is $4,000. That one's also back in court on the 31st of August, but that's in a different courtroom. So it's very important that you contact the public defender so that you make sure you make both your court appearances in, all right?
Okay.
Thank you. Matthew Gomes. Matthew, what's your date of birth?
May 13th, 1986.
Matthew, I have a warrant for you out of Pinellas County. Apparently you failed to appear down there on some sort of a misdemeanor. Looks like driving on a suspended license. The judge that issued the warrant set your bond at $513. I can't change that. If you can post the bond, you can get out of jail here, go down to St. Pete, find out when they want you in court. If you do not have the ability to post that bond, I will give them 5 days to come pick you up. If you're still here in 5 days, they'll bring you back to see me, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. William Kelly.
Yes, sir.
Morning, William. What's your date of birth?
3373.
William, I have 3 charges this morning. Felony possession of marijuana, possession of hash, and possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself? You want to hire private counsel? Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender, please.
I'll appoint the PD, state.
1990 out of Pasco, burglary times 2 and resisting without, all convictions. 1990 out of Pasco, another burglary conviction. 1993 out of Pasco, petty theft, misdemeanor battery, and an LNL conviction. He is required to register in 1995, petty theft. 1997, fleeing to elude, culpable negligence convictions. 2002, violation of probation and an FTA. 2003, violation of probation. 2006, failure to register and resisting without. 2017, a bunch of trespassing that were dropped. 2017, out of Pasco, burglary of a dwelling, which was dropped. 2018, back in March, may still be pending. Misdemeanor cannabis and paraphernalia. So I can confirm this morning.
All right. And William, I have an address for you on Parkwood Street in Hudson. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
Pretty much. It's going to be a permanent address. My mother-in-law owned it for 40 years.
Okay. You have a job these days?
No, sir. Dealing with those other charges right now.
Okay. I'm going to leave your bonds per the arrest affidavit, which is $5,000 on the marijuana, $5,000 on the hash, $1,000 on the paraphernalia. In addition to that, if you do bond out, you'll be subject to GPS monitoring at your expense due to your status. I'll have you back in court on the 4th of September. If you do get out, contact the public defender right away. If you can't get out, they're going to come see you right away, okay?
Yes, sir. Is there any way I can get my bond reduced?
You'll have to talk to the PD about that, not this morning, okay?
Sir.
Thank you. Edwin Kurtzborn.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Morning, Edwin. What's your date of birth?
February 6, 1964.
All right, Edwin, you're here on a warrant out of Pasco County. Apparently you failed to appear down there in a charge of possession of controlled substance. The judge that issued this capias sets your bond at $10,013. As you heard me explain earlier this morning, if you can post that bond, and you can go down to Newport Richie, find out when they want you in court. If you can't post it, I'll give them 5 days to come pick you up. It doesn't take 5 with Pasco, but if for some strange reason you're still here, they'll bring you back to see me, okay?
Yeah, yes, sir, Your Honor. I've been incarcerated here in Hernando County for the last year. When this FTA was issued, I was incarcerated here.
Right. I assume you've hit your EOS. Is that what's happened? You're done with us?
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
sir. It was yesterday.
Okay. Well, they'll get you down to Pasco in the next day or so. All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You bet. Richard Murphy. Wonder, Richard, what's your date of birth?
10/1/1984.
Richard, this morning I have a battery being domestic in nature and a criminal mischief. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you're going to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the public defender, and it's just for one case then, right, Bridget? One open case with the 3 charges.
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'll appoint the public defender. Richard, looks like you got open misdemeanors. You have private counsel on the open case?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have you had a chance to contact him at all?
No, I have not.
Okay. All right. And state?
I'm showing her the open charges, Judge.
Okay.
You may have more, just I can confirm it.
Okay. Richard, I have an address for you. Well, the address is Wild Horse Terrace. Is that where you've been living? Well, don't answer that question. Stop right there. Don't answer that, okay? We'll let that go for now. Do you live in Hernando County?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been in Hernando County?
2 years.
Do you have a job these days?
Yes, sir.
What do you
Framing
do?
houses.
Say that again?
Framing houses.
Okay.
Setting trusses.
All right, Richard, what I'm going to do is set your bond on these 2 at $1,000 each. That's a total of $2,000. Condition is that you have no contact with Kristen Hungerford. No contact means no contact of any kind. You don't call, you don't write, you don't email, you don't text message, you don't contact her through any social media, don't have a third person contact her, don't go where she lives, don't go where she works, don't have any contact of any kind. Any way that you might imagine contacting her, I forbid you to do that. If you have contact and I find out about it, your bond will be revoked and you'll be held without bond while these charges are pending. It means no contact if she wants to contact. So if you answer your phone and hear her voice, you should hang up. If you're out and about and see her, you should turn around and run the other way. You need to understand that she cannot drop these charges against you. She may go to the state attorney's office and ask them to drop the charges, but that decision belongs solely to the assistant state attorney who's handling your case. So unless that person or the judge on your case tells you the charges are dropped, you should assume they are not dropped and you should not have contact. As far as that address on Wild Horse Terrace is concerned, if she's there, you'll have to stay someplace else while these cases are resolved. You can go by one time to collect your things, your clothes, your toothbrush, whatever you need for wherever you plan to stay. To accomplish that, however, you must contact the sheriff's office first. They would meet you there with a deputy who would stand by while you collect your things. I'm going to move this case to the 30th of August. That's where your other cases are. I'm going to tell you that if you get out, you should contact your private attorney right away because there is a chance that when you get back in front of Judge Rupi on the 30th of August that she'll revoke your pretrial release and hold you without bond on your original charges. So you need to get your head together with your private lawyer, and since I've appointed the public defender on this case, you need to speak to them because you need to start getting these issues resolved before the end of the month, okay?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Joseph Pruden. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
12/02/1996.
So I have a warrant for you out of Pasco County. The judge that signed the warrant found probable cause for carrying a concealed firearm and set your bond at $25,000. As you've heard this morning, I can't change that. If you can post the bond, you can get out and go find out when they want you in court. If you can't post it, we'll give them 5 days to come get you, all right?
All right.
Thank you. Robert Rhodes. Morning, Robert. What's the date of birth?
July 19th, 1973.
Robert, I have 2 charges today of a DUI with an over .15 blow and a DUI with a passenger under 18. There's probable cause for both charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself, you want to hire private counsel, or would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender, please.
I'll appoint the PD, Steve.
I have his driving record in front of me, but as far as criminal history goes, 2002 resisting without, which is the withhold. 2002 sale of cannabis and possession of cannabis, both withholds. 2005 misdemeanor battery conviction. 2010 criminal mischief conviction, and that's all I can confirm this morning.
Absolutely nothing on his driving history. Robert, I have an address for you on 142nd Avenue in Largo. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you lived there?
I've been there probably about 8 years.
Do you have a job these days?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
I'm a shipping receiving supervisor at a machine shop.
Okay. Set your bond at $500 on each count. The total's $1,000. You'll be back in court on August 31st. Make sure you contact the public defender's office when you get out, all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Andrew Vogelman. Morning, Andrew. What's your date of birth?
3/9/94.
Andrew, I have 2 warrants for you out of, looks like the state of Indiana. One for a fail to appear on a burglary and one for a violation of probation. Your options this morning are this. You're entitled to have an extradition hearing if you like. The point of an extradition hearing would be determined if you're the right Andrew Vogelman and if there are actually 2 active warrants for you in the state of Indiana. That process can take somewhere in the neighborhood of 60 days. While you're waiting for that to happen, you'll stay right where you are right now, which is in the Hernando County Jail. If the result of that hearing is that you are the right Andrew Vogelman and there are active warrants, then at that point Indiana would have 15 days to come and get you. You can waive your right to that hearing this morning if you wish. If you waive your right to that hearing this morning, then Indiana will be told that you're here and ready to go and be given 15 days to come get you. So I need to know from you, Andrew, would you like an extradition hearing or would you like me to put Indiana on the clock right now?
No, that is me, sir. I am Andrew Bowman.
All right, so you're going to waive your right to the hearing?
Yes, sir.
Very good. I'll have a form for you to sign. Very good, Andrew. They're going to be notified immediately this morning that you're here and ready to go. They have 15 days to come get you. If you're still here in 15 days, they're going to bring you back to see me and find out what the problem is, all right?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Delquan West.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
April 5th, 1984.
Delquan, I have 2 charges this morning. I have a battery being domestic in nature and a violation of an injunction. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
I would like for you to appoint a public defender, please.
I'll appoint the PD. State, what can you tell me?
Out of New York, 2003, several counts of burglary, which were disposed of together. Conviction, 2011. Resisting without, conviction. 2012, possession of cannabis, which is a conviction, misdemeanor. 2012, misdemeanor injury to a child, possession of cannabis. And I'm not sure of a resolution on that. 2013, misdemeanor violation of restraining order, which is a conviction. 2014, misdemeanor criminal mischief, which is a conviction. And back in April, possession of cannabis. And that was an adjudication. That's all I'm showing, Judge.
Mr. West, I have an address for you on Brady Street in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you lived there?
We actually just moved there 2 weeks ago from Nantucket Apartments. I've been down here roughly 2 months.
Okay. And you live with Miss Hoy?
We actually live with my cousin, yes.
Okay. And you have a job these days?
Yes, sir. I work for Nathan's Landscaping.
Okay. Mr. West, I'll set your bond at $500 on each count, so the total's $1,000. Condition of the bond is that you have no contact with Miss Hoy while these charges are pending. Did you hear me explain no contact earlier?
A little bit. I couldn't hear you clearly.
Very good. No contact means no contact of any kind. You don't call, you don't write, you don't email, you don't text message, you don't contact her through any social media. You don't have a third person contact her. Don't go where she lives, don't go where she works, don't have any contact of any kind. Any way that you might imagine having contact with her, I forbid you to do that. If you have contact and we find out about it, your bonds can be revoked and you can be held without bond until the charges are resolved. It means no contact even if she wants the contact, so if you answer your phone and hear her voice, you should hang up. If you're out and about and see her, you should turn around and run the other way. You need to understand that she cannot drop the charges against you. That's not a decision she gets to make. She may go to the state attorney's office and ask them to drop the charges. She may tell them that she doesn't want to go forward with this matter. But that decision belongs solely to the assistant state attorney handling your case. So unless that person or the judge on your case tells you the charges are dropped, you should assume they are not dropped and you should not have contact. As far as go ahead.
She has all my money, all my property, like everything.
Okay, hang on, Mr. West. I'm getting there, and if you've been paying attention this morning at all, you'd know all the answers to these questions. So please be quiet while I answer them for you, just like I have for people before you. As far as the address on Brady Street is concerned, you can go by one time to collect your things, your clothes, your toothbrush, your money, whatever important knickknacks that you happen to have there. To do that, you'll contact the sheriff's office first. They'll meet you there with a deputy who will stand by while you pick up those things and then get going wherever you're going. I'm going to have you back in court on the 31st of August. Very important that you contact the public defender's office when you get out, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Charles Nicholson. And Rich, this looks like he was from Saturday and looking to maybe enter a plea.
Thank you, Judge.
On a Willis. Do you have any information on it at all?
Of course I do.
It's a pretty ugly driving record. I don't know if you've seen it.
I have not, Judge.
And no offense, Charles, to calling your driving record ugly, but you know, I'm not giving you any news, obviously.
No, sir.
Judge, we can do time served adjudication.
All right. So, and Charles, did you get arrested Friday night or Saturday morning?
Oh, I was arrested June 22nd. I was taking care of VOP in Pasco. I still have the clock running there.
Oh, okay. So you got a bunch of time. All
Yeah,
right.
I'm just trying to get this out of the way to go back to Pasco. I should have over 90 days already.
Okay,
on it.
what's your EOS in Pasco?
August 20th.
Okay. And how long you been in, since June?
Yeah, June 22nd.
All right, very good. All right, you understand by entering a plea today, you give up the right to have a trial by jury, the right to confront the witnesses against you, the right to remain silent, right to have a lawyer represent you, but you want to give up those rights so we can take care of this today?
Yes, sir.
Case number 17CT3819, that's the charge that you drove knowing your license was suspended or revoked. How do you wish to plead? You can plead no contest.
No contest.
I'll accept that plea, find it's freely and voluntarily made. I will adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 30 days in the county jail, credit 30 days served. Be a fine and court cost of $438. I will not assess any cost of incarceration because you've done the bulk of your time in Pasco. So that takes care of this, Charles. Now you can go back to Pasco and finish up there, I guess.
And that takes care of the FT as well, sir?
Yep, FTA is done.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
I appreciate your time.
You bet.